Hey, Good Fox here. Today we're going to talk about how to win at Draft Champions, my second video in the series. These are intermediate level tips. If you're just getting into the mode, watch the beginner's guide to Draft Champions strategy I've posted in the description. These tips are the next step or progression of that video. So, number 10. Don't draft two quarterbacks unless the first was an immobile low gold and the second is a legend, and there are no better choices. The second is only a little bit better than the first. You're playing with 14 drafted cards at that point. There will usually be a better position to upgrade. For example, a second tight end is better than a second quarterback because you can put it at fullback or wide receiver. Some people are having success not drafting a halfback. I still think you should get a halfback, as silvers get tired if you don't rotate them frequently. But try it out maybe, one draft unranked, and see for yourself if you can get away without drafting a halfback. Alright, take your time drafting your team is tip number 9. There is no time limit when deciding on your pick. I guess this is more, these two are kind of more beginner tips, but go to comparisons. For example, check to see if the O-lineman is worth the upgrade. Is the run block over 82 on the silver lineman, then don't upgrade the player. If you have a deadly fast linebacker like Xavier Gooden, and it's not necessary to draft a replacement, but having speedy linebackers is always a good thing. If you like running the ball, tip number 8, but you draft 3 stud wide receivers and a stud quarterback, you need to change your playstyle up to take advantage of the mismatches. Exploiting the opponent with streaks from your Herman Moore sounds dirty, but it's his job to stop you, not the other way around. Don't go easy on your opponent, for he will not return the same courtesy. Ball control, like every game, in tip number 7, is very important in Draft Champions. Fumbles will happen, but controlling the ball through the end of half or game will win you those games. Controlling the clock for an extra minute or two can sometimes be as good as a turnover. Denying possession is the same as taking it away. Number 6, if your opponent is killing you with a play, don't be afraid to pause the game and collect your thoughts. You get 5 of them a half. Use them to your advantage to help you win the game. Get a wristband and ask yourself, what would the best head coaches call in this situation? Then throw that wristband bitch out and run stretch plays, dives, and counters. Throw drags and flat routes if he's bringing heat. Cheese your opponent because he will do the same to you. Number 5, learn from your mistakes. If you threw a pick, ask yourself why you did. Did you lock onto your wide receiver when making a read? Did you get baited? See what he called and see what you can do against it next time. Number 4, mentality is very important. Tell yourself you're going to go 6-0 and nothing will get in your way. If something goes wrong for you, don't go on tilt and get over aggressive. I've seen far too many players abandon the run too early in this game when the opponent gets a quick score or two. Number 3, go for the strip. R1 or right bumper, not the club. Silver players are more likely to drop the rock than the higher overall players you see in MUT. Even though fumbles happen to everyone frequently in 17, fumbles happen more to silver players. Their carry ratings just aren't very good, especially try to do it to quarterbacks and when you're running behind a player, hit that R1. Luckily, they've toned down fumbles a little bit, but they still happen a lot. Number 2, scout your opponent early. Check his roster early in the game. Does he have a great wide receiver or a running back? Pay attention to them. Your opponent will more than likely show you his main offense on the first drive. Memorize what he does in each formation, especially if he throws a screen. They will go back to it later in that game if it's successful. That's when you recognize it and pick it off. I don't mind if a guy gets a decent yardage on a screen early. Remember, because he will throw it and come back to it, that you can get an interception later. I found announcing the formation and the play out loud when they throw a screen helps me remember it. Number 1 tip, learn the meta, aka learn the plays that the opponents will most likely run. Stretches, counters, and crossing routes are popular now. Playing all coverage with a minimal rush can get guys to try and force the ball into tight spaces. Know how to counter this stuff by looking it up on YouTube. Most opponents you face will have a few plays that they've seen big YouTubers or streamers run. Learn the plays for your own scheme to add them there, and then learn how to beat the most popular plays online, because that is what you'll run up against a lot. Alright, and that is it for the tips. Game's over. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any tips down in the comment section, and I will see you tomorrow.